What's up, everybody? All right, I want to do a bar chord lesson for some of you beginners just getting into bar chords. It can be a little bit difficult, and the question that I got is how do you get away from the buzz when you're playing bar chords? Now, that buzz is really created by two different things. One is not enough pressure, so if I just kind of press down right here, this 5th fret, if I slowly lift this up, I'm starting to get buzz. Or if I'm just a little too far back in the 5th fret, right? So you want to get up close. So when you're doing your bar chords, you definitely want to make sure that every single one of your fingers is as close to the fret above, the bar above, in the fret that you're supposed to be playing. So I'm just doing a regular old A bar chord. Now, this is the thing about starting bar chords that absolutely everybody does, is they want to start with their back finger, their first finger, all right, and barring all of this. Now, if I were to do that, I'm not even sure. I'm actually surprised I was able to get that. Usually it takes me like a little bit to get that, to get all 6 strings. You don't have to. That takes a decent amount of strength and pressure that you don't need to apply when you're doing a bar chord. Now, the thing is, if you're so focused on all of that pressure, you're taking away all the leverage and the strength from here. Your thumb is right behind your first finger to apply that much strength and pressure. So that means that you're not getting the stretch up or the pinch factor behind these fingers, and these fingers are going to suffer. This is how we do bar chords. We're just going to take a regular A. What I want you guys to do is, if you're getting that buzz or you're just kind of getting that sound, take this away and just focus on those 3 fingers. Once those become clear, then what I'll have my students do is take your first finger and just apply pressure on the top string. That's it. Don't worry about the bottom 2. And worry about those. See if you can get those to come through. What usually happens is now your thumb is sitting a little bit more in the middle because you don't need to worry about applying all that pressure. Now from there, you can start, usually this bottom part of your first finger is probably touching lightly those the bottom 2 strings. So I have them applying some pressure. Now you can do this kind of an arch. Oop, let me get that. Right? And then eventually flatten it out. Now another really awesome trick to do is laying your first finger right there on that bar, so the bar that splits the 5th and the 6th fret, and rolling it backwards. So getting rid of all that stuff by rolling it backwards a little bit. What you're doing is you're using, and you can even see where the lines are. They're right here instead of like this a little bit more softness on that part of your finger. So trying to use this part can help a little bit more, especially in beginning parts of doing bar chords. But what I want to get you to do, what I want you to do is get away from trying to apply too much pressure on your first finger and having your thumb right behind your first finger for that, because it's not going to give you the leverage. I want you to start with your upper fingers and then worry about creating the pressure for that bar a little bit later and kind of getting that. And slowly figuring out that part once that strength kind of happens, once these fingers are a little bit more comfortable. The only other one, I mean, that applies for, if I do a minor bar chord, like starting on the 5th string. Same idea. The one that is really tricky is the major, starting on the 5th string. I take that part of my 3rd finger, right, that last like kind of section, and I put it over the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string and bar all of that. And I don't worry about trying to get that first string out there. I do know that a lot of people do their bar chords this way. The only reason that I don't do that is a lot of motion and a lot of moving your fingers around from here to get from there to there that quickly. So I just naturally started going for that. Especially, I kind of like grew up playing a lot of Nirvana and Green Day, so I was doing a lot of like power chords anyway, all over the neck. So it was kind of easy for me to navigate to that. So that would be the same. I would teach it the same way. If that's comfortable for you, get the top 3 strings, right? right? And then figure out how to get that first finger over without trying to stretch, because then those are going to pull down, and you're going to get a little bit of that buzz and like kind of like the wrong note, basically. All right, so that's how I would do those. And then if I were to do it this way, I would do the same thing. Just make sure that those 3 fingers are comfortable before you try to stretch your first finger down. All right, so basically you want to be able to stretch that down without moving those, and same right here. So you want to be able to stretch that down without these pulling back. So that's how I do it. I start with the upper strings, or the upper frets, and then move back to where the bar is, wherever your first finger is. I hope that helps, guys, and thank you. I'll talk to you soon.